I am prepping for a debate about on Sunday this week on whether or not AIs will replace all doctors in a small number of years. Now, the pro case is very easy, which is we have massively increasing capabilities. If you look at ChatGPT today, you'd go, like, for example, advice to everyone who's listening to this. If you're not using ChatGPT or equivalent as a second opinion, you're out of your mind. You're
Right.
ignorant.
Yeah.
You get a serious result. Check it
Yeah.
as a second opinion. And by the way, if it diverges, then go get a third.
Yeah.
And so the diagnostic capabilities, these are much better knowledge stores than any human being on the planet.
Yep.
So you go, well, if a doctor is just a knowledge store, yeah, that's going away. However, the question is actually, I think things that really do mean doctor, and it's not like, oh, someone who holds your hand and says, oh, it's okay, etc. I actually think there will be a position for a doctor 10 years from now, 20 years from now. It won't be as the knowledge store. It will be as a user as an expert user of the knowledge store, but it's not going to be, oh, because I went to med school for 10 years and I memorized things intensely. That's why I'm a doctor. That's all going away. Great, that part, but there's a lot of other parts to being a doctor. Now, so I went to ChatGPT Pro, using deep research. I went to Claude, 4.5, Opus 4.5 deep research. I went to Gemini Ultra. I went to Copilot deep research, and in all of these things, I was doing everything I knew about prompting to give me the best possible arguments for my position. Because I thought, well, I'm about to debate on AI. Of course I should be using AI to debate. The answers were B minus or B, despite absolute topping. And I'm not like, maybe there's probably better prompters in the world, but I've been doing this since I got access to GPT-4 6 months before the public did, right? So I've got some experience in the whole prompting thing. It's not like I'm an amateur prompter. Right. And so I looked at this and I went, oh, this is very interesting and a telling of where current LLMs are limited in their reasoning capabilities. Because what it did is it basically did, 10 to 15 minutes of like 32 GPU compute clusters doing inference, bringing all in. Amazing work relative to a work that an analyst would have produced in 3 days was produced in 10 minutes. And of course, I set it up all in parallel, with different browser tabs, all going into the different systems, and then ran the comparisons across them, everything. But its flaw was that it was giving me a consensus opinion about how articles in good magazines, good things, are arguing for that position today. And all of that was weak because it was kind of like, oh, you need to have humans cross-check the diagnosis, right? Like was a common theme across this. And I'm like, well, by the way, very clearly we know as technologists that human cross-checking the diagnosis, we're going to have AIs cross-checking the diagnosis. We're going to have AIs cross-checking the AIs are cross-checking the diagnosis. And sure, there'll be humans around here somewhere, but like that's not going to be the central place to say in 20 years, doctors are going to be cross-checking the diagnosis. Because by the way, what doctors should be learning very quickly is if you believe something different than the consensus opinion that an AI gives you, you'd better have a very good reason and you're going to go do some investigation. Doesn't mean the AI is always right. That's actually part of what what we're going to need in all of our professions is more sideways thinking, more lateral thinking. Okay, this is good consensus opinion. Now, what if it's not consensus opinion? That's what doctors need to be doing. That's what lawyers will need to be doing. That's what coders will need to be doing. That's what it is. And LLMs are still pretty structurally limited there.